Hey everyone, Brian from Workshop Addict. Today we're going to take a look at GEARWRENCH's new wing light with their underhood rack and their new rechargeable compact work light. Both these lights are really cool, they're new, they're innovative, but we're going to take a look at them, show you what might be great, what might not be so great, and we're going to compare this underhood light to one of the more popular underhood lights that we have in our shop. Stay tuned. So there are two reasons that I put this underhood light on a Tesla Model S. The first is it's a car that I have in the shop that I can show you how the baskets work on each end to connect to. And second, we can see exactly where that light goes. If you hang out a little bit, we'll put this on a vehicle with an engine so we can show you how things move around. But basically first, how this connects is it's spring loaded. You have your two baskets on the end that do have a rubber overmolding. They can rotate fully 108 or 360 degrees, no issue. They have this curve around them, and if you watch when I put this on, even if I put that up top, it wants to kind of lower itself down to that hook. There's not enough spring tension there to just hold it where you put it. So if you have a dirty hood or anything and it's sliding around, there's a possibility of scratching. This center piece is spring loaded, so it's really not movable all the way to one side as it stops you and it wants to slide itself back. The wing light that connects to this can be used anywhere you want it to be. And this wing light has lights on the end, two lights that are in the middle when opened. These two lights have two levels, lights on the end have one. You have a power button on this side and a USB-C charger on your other side. Magnetic strip, put it on something metal, and this is how it clips into the underhood light. It's different. First, when looking at it, not what I was thinking. So if I push the button, it's going to turn the end lights on first. This is low. That's high. So for me, using this on high is kind of where I want to be. I can do multiple things with this to get it in position. I can turn the whole light. I can move the actual light itself. And I can pull this off to move it to one side or the other, giving me plenty of light to move around the whole car and the engine bay. If I want to concentrate light in one area, I can move things around. There's a ton of different options that you have here, but you are somewhat limited. Now, let me bring in one of the more popular lights that we have, and I can throw this on top. This too, as you can see, is going to hold more with the hooks. It's also in a funky position because of where I have it. But if I turn this light on, we get more of a light that's surrounding the whole area. And this light will move side to side without issue. It's different. Let's go to the other room and compare them. When looking at underhood lights, I think it's important to know what else is out there and to see how different connections are made to the hood. With the Milwaukee, you have these rubber paddles on each side, and sometimes it's hard to figure out where to place them at first. But this is a very strong spring that's on the inside, so as you pull it out, you can tell that it's going to stay where you put it. You can move this centerpiece somewhat to each side, and then the light swivels in its area. The GEARWRENCH again has the baskets. We can move this around, but this is where it would want to sit. The springs are not that tight, so even putting it here, I feel like it's going to rest on the hooks that are coming around, not actually the spring tension. We can move this around somewhat, pretty much the same, but in some cases the spring will spring it back to where it wants to be. The difference here is going to be if you're working in a specific area. If we turn on the Milwaukee, it will light up pretty much the full engine bay, other than the areas that are shaded in the back. If we light up the gear wrench, we get a brighter light that's concentrated, at least in this setting, and we can turn it so that it'll get more of the back and have less shaded area. Now the downside to that is obviously this light hangs lower even though it's up higher on the hood, so you have more of a chance of hitting it. And this clip system here is simply plastic, so working on an expensive car that's not mine, and if I were to hit it, there's a small chance that you could knock it off. It would take quite a bit, as you can see there. It's not just going to fly off from the sides. It needs to come straight up and out. That in itself is somewhat interesting, but if you needed light in a specific area, you could make it more of a flashlight style. Now, let's come in and get a real good look at the hood and just compare these two as to what light they put out. If we start out with the gear wrench on the spotlight where we left off, this is a very direct light that you can move around side to side. It's easier to take it off and get a lot of light directly where you need it. If we change up and go to the mode where we have the wing light, we get a lot of light pushed all the way around. That's on high. So the engine bay is completely lit up. We can move to the front, we can move to the back, we can get a lot of light out. The Milwaukee is a different color light, that's for sure. It's a little more yellow, but that is low, this is high, and we can move this light around. And if we wanted to get more area back in the intake or around the heads, it would behoove us to bring this light up and shine it back. But since we're comparing, you just have to notice there's going to be a difference in where the shadow lines are based on where the lights are. It's different. Both of them work well. I guess it's going to be a matter of if you're in a battery line or not, or if you want a separate light that can be unhooked and used in different areas. The other light that we're going to talk about is this GEARWRENCH compact work light. This is a very cool light that is USB-C rechargeable, does have a hanger that folds out and a magnet that's here. Now that magnet, along with other ones, don't work on our trucks made out of beer cans, but you can find different places to put them. You have a flashlight style up front and two modes down here with more of a work light. So when you turn it on, first button is the flashlight, second button is going to be the work light. On low, I hit it again, it's the work light on high. Now there is a good amount of light coming out of here. I'm going to put the exact specs down in the description, but if we were to want to use this as a light, we can find a little bit of metal here, turn this guy on, and do something similar. Now, if we're talking about lights that could fall if you hit them, this one definitely would be, but it does have a good magnet that's attached to the end. This is something to me that is very useful. It gets into a nice tight area. It's slim, so if you want to use the flashlight to shine down in an area, or if you need more of a broad work light, you can get it up under the car, work on a transmission, work on getting older style engines, spark plugs out or headers, anything like that, and you have a ton of light, great place, lots of battery life, rechargeable, magnetic base or hanger, it all comes into play. This one is one that I'm really thrilled with. Underhood lights they're difficult for me to talk about. It's hard to get one that attaches to everything. The Milwaukee is not happy attaching to any of our Corvettes. So if you get them in the shop, they're just something you have to figure out a different way of hooking things up to. I think it would be the same with the GEARWRENCH. I'm just not comfortable hanging a lot of things off of some of the hoods when you're working on higher end cars, but I realize that 99% of the cars out there are not that way. So both of these lights would work. I guess it's going to be a matter of what the cost is of both and how you would particularly use them, and if you wanted a light that you would have available to you more often than this larger Milwaukee light that can be used in other places, but not quite as many places as the GEARWRENCH wing light. As always, guys, I appreciate you hanging out, going through this testing with me. I hope that some of this helps you out if you're looking at these lights. So if you could, give us a like in this video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time, guys. Have a great day.